Okay. All right, so good morning. We are in Simon Kuf Lamed Tes, Sif Tes. And there is Shava, Shemaliki Lefaneha. They have candles that they light in front of the Avodah Zarah, Noyahin. They're considered Noy. The Asurim, and they're Asur, V'im Mashkanam, Machan Yisrael. But let's say the church, or not the church, whatever it is, the Avodah the temple, he gives it as a mashkin, or sells them to Yisrael, mutarim. Kiban l'tzarech atzma zehu bitul. Once he put them out for his own, for I guess for it's not talking against not the temple, but the Avikochavim himself. Once he puts it out to sell it or to make money, things like that, so then that's already called Bittul, and therefore they are mutter. There has to be that the Shach says, he doesn't understand why it has to be he put it out himself. Why can't it just be he sold it? Isn't that Bittul enough? Okay, whatever. It's a discussion. Yud cheticha is shava shenoisim lefaneha mutaros. If they put pieces of wax in front of it, the lav noyo hivelo takroivta. If they put pieces of wax, I guess they can make candles. Or so they put a whole bunch of tea lights, things like that. Is neither nor takroivis. So therefore, they put a bag of tea lights there. It's the person could take for his own, from front of Avodah Zarah, he can take, and it doesn't make a difference. Yud Aleph Malbushim Shalovshim Kohanim Yeshenichnasim LeBeis Elilim Noi Shalahem. That which they wear walking into the Shalahem Hey Lo Noi Shalilim. Afilu Bittul Einan Tzvichim. Though the priestly robes or whatever that whatever they wear, they want to serve the Avodah Zarah is their own for their own kavod, not for the kavod. It's not considered noi the priest. It's not noi of the Avodah Zarah. So therefore, there's the Bittul Yeshomrim Bittul. Some say also needs Bittul. This is what they want. They walk into the temple with. However, the Ramah says that if it's like a special robes they used to worship, like some priests will, Nagida, you have you'll have a priest of a temple or something like that. They'll walk around the whole day wearing robes and things, and I don't know what. So that's no shalahem. But if they put on special clothing to go in to serve their to worship, so that is considered that would be considered noi of the Avodah Zarah. Kelim she'oiches biyado hamachta. The kalim that he holds, or let's say he's makriv taurus, whatever it is, the pam haim it's called mishamsha haim. V'tzichim bittul. They need bittul. V'machor novik l'chavim mashkan l'Yisrael zel bitulam. And the fact that he sold it, or it was mashkin, that's called bittul. Some say that's not enough to be called bittul, as we had before by the case of the neighbors. The neighbors, he put it out himself to go ahead, and that was bavatul. You need a ma'isa bittul. Selling it is not considered a ma'isa bittul. Fine. You gimel neiros v'shava shel lilim asurim and their mitzvah. Any nair which was used for Elilim is also to be used for a nair mitzvah. The Shabbos, Chanukah, Beis HaKnesses. Someone said to me, he said many years ago he went to Uman many years ago, and I think he said there was or some other kever in Eastern Europe or something. Said that they had all the candles there. had like had like or candlesticks with like crosses on them and things or whatever. They're probably old ones that someone discarded from a church. I don't know, whatever it was. So they took candles, from the churches to use it to. It's just if it's just it's a makom tefillah. I don't know to use it just to light the way by a camera. I have no idea, but still, it's not something you should do. V'chein tachshitei kohanim, me'ilim shaloshim kohanim, like the me'ilim. Lo yitakim hem talisais, shouldn't use it to make a talis. Lo shum dvar mitzvah mishum demeisi. It's not also these things aren't also because they're bottle, but these things are most. Using these things for divrei kedusha is nechshav most. And there's the idea that we're going to see running through a lot of these things. Is anything that was used for avodah zarah, bigadol is a certain amount of most. Like things can be technically mutter, but the person there's a certain amount of it's not what we do. Yudala lo yichdav Yisrael sifrei of the kochavim. Elam came machkan shayir rishuma nicker. So let's say he gets his hands on a prayer book. See, nowadays it's printed. You can't exactly scratch it off, erase it. I don't know if it's handwritten maybe. I guess if you white out the whole thing, I have no idea. Anyway, so it has to be. You can only use it with machon shayir rishuma nicker. It has to be. It's erased to the point where you can't even tell there was anything written. V'yesh b'shomer da afilu hachi lo yichtav alav divrei tfilos v'sachnunim the ein kateger nasas haneger. And even still, you should not write. You shouldn't use it to write. Use this booklet to write tfilos or tachnunim because ein kateger nasas haneger because you can't. General rule, you shouldn't really use something which is used for Avera to try to, for tefillah and things.
Is this the same thing as Muse or something else? A different thing?
I think it's just Muse. I think so. I didn't really, yeah, the girl says Kanal. It's the same idea. Tezvav, Sifrei of the Kochavim Biyad Yisrael. The Sifrei of the Kochavim, which are in the hands of Yisrael. Let's say for some reason he has a bunch of of other people's Bibles and theological ideas and things or whatever. It's not. Some say it's not also to sell. Im hem tzvarim v'shaychim lezamer behem lavodas kohanim. You have their hymns and I don't know what. If it's things that can use to worship, it's also. And the Gemara says he doesn't understand Bechlala. He doesn't understand the Mechaber at all because it's very pshutim. Like it's very brewing. He says that we go like the second day. He doesn't really understand what the heter is. But al kopanim. It's only also to sell to the Kohanim. You can sell to other ones. Now, I do remember there was a Shiloh, I didn't look into it. I do remember hearing a Shiloh once. I know there was a discussion some time ago that there was I think it was like some big southern church or something, decided that the Art Scroll Tanakh was the most accurate translation, most accurate Tanakh, and they wanted to buy like truckloads of the Art Scrolls. I remember hearing the Shiloh. I don't remember. I think they decided not to sell. It was a Shiloh where the Art Scroll was allowed to sell them Tanakh. Yeah, obviously it was something they would use for tefillah, not, but there was some place in the middle where obviously it would be a big hefsek because you're talking about supplying many people But I don't know. I think they didn't do it, but I don't know. I don't know. But it's again to this issue over here that here it's even stuff of the other kochavim, but it's no. Here it's our stuff, but you're selling it to them to use for their it's for their tefillas or this. They're going to use it. That's the question. Could we just use it to get to learn about Kodesh Baruch Hu? Or could be, or the opposite, use it in churches and things. It wasn't like this bar as this. That's why things were. I don't remember what the psak was, but or what they decided. But no, it's clear cut as this. But it's be'ain with this Ramo. Um, Afilu limkor lehem klafim video lichtov behem sifrei dosan, even to sell writing utensils and things, or let's say you sell them printing machines and I don't know whatever. Yesh machmirin la'osan. Some say you shouldn't sell it. V'yesh b'shoim also lahavois tzarich binyan beis elilim. We should not lend money to build a temple or church or something like that. Of the kochavi or tachshiteha, or for to machshir it or the meshamsheha. The kol shekaim lim korla tashmishin. Or kol shekaim to sell them tashmishin, machtois, like like machla for Keteris or other things. Matzliach, someone who gets out of it will be matzliach. Ve'ein likshor sifrei of the kachavim chutz b'sifrei hadayanim v'asayfim. A person should not bind the svarim of goyim except for law books, v'asayfim, things like that. He should not even bind stuff which is used for their religion. Any way he could go ahead and get out of it, he should try to get out of it. But if not, it is technically mutter mitam eva to do that. It's shadows of sakana when it comes to eva and things. Fine. Simin kuf mem. Aleph Elili Mishamsheha B'Takroivta Oisim B'Kolshu. Avodah Zarah or and Mishamshe and the Takrevis. They're all Aser B'Kolshu. Shemis Arv Echa Mehem Nafilu Be'elef Kula Nasurais. The Aser is the whole Tarevis. V'im Echa Mea Tarevis Arishoin Nisarv B'Shtayim Acherim. Let's say after it fell in. One out of this tarovis, falls into the Zara B'Shleim Acherim, goes into a different tarovis. The Nafal Mea Shlishi Echad L'Shleim Acherim, and out of these three, one of these falls into a third tarovis. Harei Acherim Mutar, and the last tarovis are all mutar. If let's say in the first tarevis, one of them falls into the sea, that's can't be found, it's destroyed. On the Israf, Pe'in Shedeva Me'oilam, Kol HaNishari Mutari Nehanas Behen. You can get hana from the rest of them. Shnayim Beyacha, but only if you use 2 by 2, because it's still, we had this before in Hilchos Tarevis, because then it's still nechshav of suffix, right? You shouldn't if you use shnayim, then it's like a sveka. It's a sveka. You have a suffix, you don't know if one of these could be is also could be as mutter, and you have the suffix that maybe that which fell into the yam was the avodah zarah. Because then you only have one suffix. As long as one person doesn't get hana from everything that's left. Some say it's only also if 2 fell into the yam. It's only motor if 2 fell into the yam or the sraf. Now, when it comes to nogea to, that's the example I was using yesterday about, which is possibly nogea now about let's say it's the avodah zarah hair. So part of the machlokes is also can you obviously it goes into the markets and it gets mixed up, with other hair and this mutter hair, so there's a tarevis over here, and the chara you're going to talk about tarevis enough sveikas, tarevis, whatever that the chara you have 3 tarevis, and obviously some hair gets ruined along the way, and some whatever. The shaila the post can deal with is it called, if it's avodah zarah, is it called? Can you call it tarevis, or do we say it's kavua and therefore it's never batal? That's one of the union that they say that the hair from that temple or whatever is kadesh of kavua, and if it's kavua, you can't turn into a tarevis. We had before something which is not kavua. Um, even still, even something which is not bottle, even still, if it gets mixed up into three tarevis already, we're makel. It's still a bit of a chiddush to be machmir, unless But al chapanim, but that's the discussion. Kuf mem aleph din ha tzlamim not tzurais right. Kol ha tzlamim sha'avodas kochavim, all the images, psalim of avodah zarah hanimtzayim b'kfarim asurim, that which was found in used to be in the kfarim, were also because you just assume that those things were worshipped. The stamar l'shem elim nasu. They made it for elilim. Hamnitzayim b'krachim, that which was found in the cities. Mutar the varim l'noi nasu, because they have temples, right? People don't just walk around the streets. They had temples. You go to the temple, right? But if you just find it, if you just find it, it's just around the wall, things, whatever. That's just a noise to show that I'm machshiv this religion, or I'm part of this religion, or whatever it is. It's just considered it's considered noi, and it's not considered and it's not and it's different. Elim kain oimdim al Pesach HaMedina, unless it's by the gates of the city. So then the point is, there's people walk in, they want people to worship, the power or the deity of the city. V'haya, that has to be v'haya biyad hatzura, tzuras makel. It has to be there's some, it's holding some sort of like rod of some sort, like a scepter maybe, or a rod. Kilo, it's showing rulership over the world. So I'm not sure if it's like showing like a big, like it could hit power, has power to hit the world, or it's like a scepter. I'm not sure. Whatever. Or tzipor, it's holding the tzipor, that's holding kilos, like it's around power. Kadur, as the Yerushalmi says, Tosis brings, and Kadur means Kadur ha'olam. It's back then Midrashim, the Yerushalmi and Tosis all understood that the world was round. It was only you didn't understand the world was round. The point, even it could be either going before. I think they was holding a ball to show that his power over the world, or saif, or a sword, or a tara, or has a crown, or a tabas, and a ring, things like that. Hagab. Tzuras shemishtachavim lo dinu kedin tzelem. Any tzura which people bow down to is a din of a tzelem. Now, the tzelem we're talking about before is a tzelem of a person, or some sort of, some sort of creature or something which, often the Vodazars used to blend people with animals and weird stuff. So we have Asur below Bittul, and it's Asur. These are other worship. It's also below Bittul of a oisan shetoilim b'tzavar. So I'll tell you honestly, I don't know if you have in the non-censored Ramaz, really what it says over here is Hagad Tzuras Shtiva Erev Shebishtachavim Lo. It's talking about crosses. In the uncensored Ramaz, it's talking about crosses, and crosses which people bow down to. And Dinoi Kedin Tzelem. They have a Damish Din of Avodah Zarah, but also below Bittul. Of a Oisan Shtiva Erev. Shetolim B'tzavar, the Zikaron, the crosses that people wear around their necks. Lo Mikri Tzelem Umutter. It's not called a Tzelem, and they are Mutter, it's only Noi Ba'alma. Now, there's a bunch of different shilas about these things. I did see someone brought, I think it's a Rashba, or someone says that if they kiss it all the time, it could be that is a form of worship, and therefore it might have a more chomer tikadin.
Who said that?
I saw a sefer bringing I think it's Rashba. I have to look up. So that's something foreign. I found one sefer from what's it called? I don't remember. There's a bunch of shilas. But the thing with the noi is even if they say that the shach, Place can bring even if there's even if the Chachosadim writes, even if there's a guy hanging off of a guy hanging off of it, or there's a picture of a mother and a baby and all these things, it's still considered noi unless they actually bow down to it. It's not straight of a zara. These things are still only considered a zecher and things or whatever. They're not mamish of a zaras. Um, Now, obviously, these things are, at most for Yidden, there are, to have these types of jewelry or anything like that. I saw the same Sefer brings the Shaila. People would buy jewelry, cheap silver jewelry with crosses and melt it down to make something else. Or that's mutter. It could be it is mutter. That the Chorah we see later on is mutter. Yeah. That's the whole shaila of making it. Also, there's another shaila, saying that they say that how makbid do you have to be about, window panes and things. You see, the stipler was very, very makbid, and they say that therefore in Bnei Brak, none of the streets actually cross at a T. When they planned Bnei Brak out, he told them never to have any street cross at a T. Kachemati. Although I think there might be some, but he'd have to go around looking. He told them to plan it out as a not as a T, as a plus. Yeah. So. There's people minute when you're a person in English, people you write a plus sign or a T, or you write a T to put a little chupchak at the bottom, so you're not writing crosses. I asked someone about what about davening in front of, what about the flags? The Union Jack is based on a cross. The Great Britain flag is based on a cross. So through that post here says if it's 6 points, meaning it's a cross and the X, I guess it is mutter. But even though someone said like that, like he said, he's never said, that's a friend of mine, dying, whatever. He said he's never heard of anyone ever say, "Oh, I don't have a cross here. I'm just going to take the British flag and use it as instead of a cross, whatever." They don't do that. It happens to be based on it, but it's not. Again, it's nothing mamish. Also, mamish also about it.
I had a vein where anything had cross in the
Yeah,
right.
yeah, they
No
remember.
plaid is full cross.
Right, those are makbid. Yeah, it's what be makbid because there's also, listen, there's koichas atuma which are nitfas on all of these things as well. It's not just it's not just whatever. When there's what to discuss, and the minig of Klal Yisrael is to be marchik these things as much as possible. What you have to be makbid on window panes, and okay, I don't know, but for example, this everything.
Window panes because it's shaped like that, or it has images on it.
No, because the paint is shaped like that. Now I don't. The truth is, you don't know. We'll finish up in a second. You don't know in Europe. You don't know. A lot of kavanas were for that. And for example, the swords that they made in Europe were crosses. They're straight with a cross piece. The kavana, it was a cross. Just like the Arab swords are curved. They're made more like spoons and things. People had kavana. So when they set things up, window panes, all these things. You don't know what the original idea might have been for a cross. You don't know. That's the thing.
You see a lot of designs on front doors.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. Like it just whatever. But Al Kapanim, all right, we'll stop here. We'll continue
There's a
tomorrow.
nice with Rabbi of the Seder